You're now divorced. What was kind of your mental?
Straight whole phase, man. Yeah. Let's see what's out here now. Put love on hold, not studying it, because you licking your wounds at this point. It rears its ugly head. I don't want to face that dude in the mirror. I don't want to face him. So let me clap as many cheeks as I can. But it wasn't like, I'm going to lie to these chicks and tell them, I'm going to just, where I would have been from that gentleman, that soft-spoken guy, that good guy everybody want to perceive, I would have never said some of the things that I said after my divorce. I would have never I would have never been direct. I'd have kind of hoping we'll get there. Now it's like, hey, listen, I'm not looking for no relationship. I'm trying to tap that. You in or you out? Well, I'm in. Okay, cool.
This is Caesar Walker, the cool, calm, collected one.
And I'm Ronnie Gatry, the emotional one.
And we are the Tipping Point Podcast, your source for the black male's perspective.
Tipping Point Podcast.
Peace and blessings, everyone. We want to welcome you to the latest and greatest episode. Shout out to all of our listeners and viewers, both new and old. Want to say thank you for tuning in and checking us out. Gentlemen, how are we? Good?
Doing well overall.
Good? Awesome. Black, you good?
I'm good.
All right. Consecutive weeks, we got guests.
Hey, I'm here for it.
You here for it?
This is what we talked about at the top of the year. It's happening. I'm here for it.
I'm excited about it. This is my guest, so I'm gonna introduce him. Known this guy for a while. Church members. I see him twice a month because he's in the shop doing his thing that I frequent. But a good brother. We've had time to just sit and talk, just casually, and I'm really proud of this brother and his growth. I'm proud of this brother and just the man he's becoming. And I had nothing to do with it. So that's why it's beautiful to watch a person really begin to hit their trajectory and hit that mark. And they not even done. They just started. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about where this dude's going to end up. Barber, professional barber, a connoisseur of Jordan 1s, lover of God.
Absolutely.
Also a content creator himself. We'll talk more about that later on.
Hopefully.
Christopher Michael, welcome.
Man, appreciate y'all having me, man. This is an honor. You know, I rock with you for a long time.
Yeah.
Man. And it's just good to be here to be able to sit amongst, you know what I'm saying, men that's willing to talk, man. Willing to just, that safe space, I think, is the most underrated part. Yeah. So just being able to be here and just talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like to do it all the time on my social media. Hey, let's talk about it.
Elevator pitch. Let people know kind of what you want them to know about you, who you are, what you do, all that good stuff.
Well, on social media, of course, I'm a Man Code 101. Y'all can probably see the shirt as well. Got to wear that. But mostly, what I want people to know about me is that I care. I care about what we're doing, the imagery, just bridging the gap between just us as people, and then relationship-wise between us and our queens, period.
Yeah.
I want that to be put out there to know that perception is everything in a lot of ways, especially in the social media world, but it's not realistic. Because it's different. Once you can control your content when that camera's on or when the mic's on, you can kind of guide where you want it to go. But in life, it's unpredictable. You don't know what can happen on a day-to-day basis. So I try to love as much as I can, do as much as I can today, because I may not be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hold back on some things that I feel like that needs to be said. When I'm led to say it, I'm going to say it. And I share this. The reason why I say I take that approach. God dealt with me with something when I was younger, especially younger in the faith too, and going through a tremendous time. You know, by some of the church history I have, that God gave me, it was one of my homeboys that passed away, and I was supposed to say something to him, and I didn't. And it haunted me, and it still bothers me now. But he told me the next time, he was like, listen, you are responsible for what you say and how you say it, but you are in no shape, form, or fashion responsible for how they take it and what they do with it. So that took the fear out of doing or saying what I'm supposed to do or supposed to say. It's no longer. Is there nervousness? Yeah, but the fear is gone. Because at the same time, if I don't say what I need to say and then I leave, now God got to find somebody else to replace what I should have said.
Yeah.
That's my fault that didn't happen. Yeah. So let me go ahead and do it today, because tomorrow I may be laying the ground. That's a real thing. My grandmother prepared us for her death for years. Years. I'm talking about, I'm 12, 13, 14, and now I'm 40. She left us when I was 44. I turned 44. She left that November. And it was still tough to deal with, but she prepared us for it. So even the scriptures tell you, a wise man prepares you for death, for fools just live day to day. So you hear so many people say, I'm just trying to live for the day. No. You got to prepare for this. This is coming. You don't know when, but you want to at least try to prepare as much as you can, because nobody's going to be fully prepared. So with that being said, that's why I'm trying to, like you say, let people know this is why I do the things I do.
So you're in a familiar space with us. I just want to know, there are a lot of men in this day and age who are podcasting, who have a platform, whether it be social media, YouTube, where you stream podcasts. What do you think about the space where we are? It's called the manosphere, but what do you think about that space today? What are your thoughts, just high level, about where we're going?
I'm concerned about where we're going, because the simple fact of, yes, we have a voice now. Yeah. Think about it. For decades, they've been asking us, please say something. What are you thinking? How you feel? And we never felt comfortable, because we instantly knew that this is going to be weaponized. And I'll give you an example of that when I bring it back. Being in the manosphere, we cannot be too careful just to rest so much on our testosterone and let it just run wild, to where we're forgetting that they still people too. Yeah. It's not all of us. We're not right all of the time, but we done took a lot of wrong, man. We done took a lot of innocent stray shots. Yeah. From previous actions that we had nothing to do with. Yeah. And so we had to be careful in the manosphere to once we speak, make sure we need to speak honestly, forthcoming, and without. We're going to speak with pain in our voice. In the manosphere, there's a lot of pain. Like I came in, now, you see what I'm saying? I came in watching this like, why are you saying this? I can't believe this is the dumbest thing you can say. But then this is why I love LP at the shop.
Shout out to LP.
LP said something to me, and it stuck, just like what my grandma used to say, it stuck in my crawl. You know what I'm saying? It stuck in my crawl, man. He said, we got to stop ostracizing, criticizing, and demonizing people and start asking questions like, what happened to you? Why did that happen to you? Like, what brought you to this conclusion? Why do you view women, or why do you view life this way? Because that's trauma. We laugh about it sometimes to keep from crying, but you know what I'm saying, and try to make light of it so we can continue to move in that space, but that's trauma.
Yeah. Straight up.
So that's I'm talking, when I tell you there's decades and decades of trauma in that. And you hear it in those men's voices, and having gone through 15 years of a certain type of trauma, you understand how the depths of where trauma can take you. And the manosphere got to be careful not to spill that trauma on don't bleed on people who didn't cut you type situation. Yeah. And that's what we have to be careful of with that. And that's why I think these men are so bitter a lot of times. These men are so angry a lot of times. That's why they don't get married. That's why they don't do relationships. Like it used to be men don't want to get married. They don't want to get married. But now they're not even getting in relationships.
Why do you think that is?
Show me in today's time, with what we're hearing on a constant basis, what benefit is it to get married or get in a relationship? You come, sir, I'm looking for the perfect word, is to say you have become a service. It's a service.
Marriage is a service?
Marriage is a service that certain men don't want to do. Certain men, do you know how much of a complete man you have to be to actually get in a marriage and serve your wife? We're actually supposed to be servant leaders in that.
True.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be.
It's not sexy to talk about.
It's not. It's not manly. You know what I mean? You don't look like you testosterone when you're serving your wife, but guess what? I've learned certain things. God made us certain ways, and I've watched women I've grown up with my entire life. They return whatever energy you deliver.
Oh my gosh.
Tenfold.
You could say that again.
They return whatever energy you deliver.
100%.
So just imagine for 1 second. If we turn around and had a servant's heart, I ask God to give me a servant's heart when I do get in a relationship and get in a marriage. Give me a servant's heart.
Yeah.
Because guess what? No matter what, we can talk about. A lot of people don't believe in Christ. You can say the universe, but for me, it's Christ and God. Period. It will always be that. He was one of the most dynamic leaders of power. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We think he weak, man. He turned over tables. He did all this stuff. They got to watch all sides of him when nobody else was around.
Right.
But yet he washed their feet. People forget that part of Christ. They forget that. Mm-hmm. They want to be out front, grandstanding, and look at me. Right. But the hugest part, the most effective part in your leadership is how you serve.
Mercy. Wow.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I sadly had to learn that after I got divorced.
Yeah.
Do you think, and we'll get to that, do you think that you talked about trauma? One of the things that makes a person effective at serving is you have to be good at denying self. Right?
Absolutely.
A server isn't thinking about what they want to drink at the moment. They're thinking about what, right? So if you're full of trauma, how does that impede one person's process to actually serve others or this woman?
When you full of trauma like that, the only thing you can think about is your comfort level. For me, I can speak because of the comfort level. When am I going to be okay? When is this going to be over with? Because trauma hurts. It's more like a version of just like you breaking your leg. That hurts. And I'm really not supposed to be standing on it. It's not okay. I'm not supposed to be standing on it. It's actually supposed to be in a cast, maybe on some crutches to help take the weight off of it. But we don't do that. We just break it and keep trying to walk it off. Bro, that's not okay, bro. Something's wrong with you. And then you get offended when people start noticing, hey, man, hey, see, you got a little trauma right there. What? All of a sudden, you see what I'm saying? It's an instant trigger. Anytime you deal with people who quick to fly off like that, that trauma, they keep peeling the Band-Aid off. Even if it's they keep peeling the scab back off. Yeah. And then guess what? Scabs become a scar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so when it comes to trauma, man, we're scared. It's so sad, but we are so scared when it comes to trauma to go through the rehab parts of dealing with the trauma. It happened, okay. We have a problem acknowledging you might have had a little bit to do with that. You might have had something to do with that.
Oof. Question, and I know we're going to touch on this in a second, but you said something that stuck out to me. We talked about how, and these are my words, but marriage isn't sexy. Marriage isn't appealing to some men nowadays. And thinking about your situation a little bit, you told us, what is it that makes you want to reconsider marriage again after going through what you've gone through?
Marriage is a beautiful thing with the right person. For me, the reason why I knew from when I was a kid that I was a husband. I knew it. Because I had friends that were, I have to say it in this term, they were a little hoish. You know what I mean? Let's just be real.
Yeah.
It's a safe space.
We can talk. Yeah.
So they were. These are my dogs, and
look,
some of them still cool.
Please be respectful.
Next episode.
Let's talk about it.
Now that we're here.
Well, since we're on the subject, but man, when you look and see how beautiful marriage is, when Caesar talked about fit, right? When there's a fit, I say this all the time. When you said that, bro, when I tell you it hit me. My marriage was a square peg in a round hole scenario. I rounded the square peg off to make it fit. And it still didn't quite fit. It kind of wedged its way back out because it wasn't made for that situation. It was square. It should have went in a square hole.
You knew this.
I actually, the thing about it, I knew it. I just didn't know who.
So let me add, listen, now that we're here, when I first met this guy, When I first met him, he was already locked and loaded. Serious relation. You know it's serious when you attend church with the same girl 3 straight times.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I met him, friendly guy. Same like he is today.
Yeah.
Just doing him. Friendly guy. Talk about like how did that situation progress over time? You know, you can keep it high level or how detailed as you want. But how did it's because it seemed like y'all may have moved. Did y'all move pretty fast?
Faster than we should.
Wow. Okay. So how
Absolutely.
did that
Well, first
go?
First of all, I actually was not so seasonal, and that's another subject for another day, but I still gotta reference it. I had went through 15 years of church trauma.
Yeah.
Oh. So I stayed away from church for a year, a year. So my mother and my sister had already attended Faith Chapel, where we go. So I said, man, we was on campus A. Mom was like, where you gonna go? I was like, well, I don't really do that church thing no more, Mom. I'm like, I'm out of that. You know what I mean? Because I almost went down a dark path with that. You know what I mean? That I wouldn't have been able to come back from. I mean, physically, I'd have been locked up with the decision I was gonna make.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I turned around and was just like, I'm done with the church thing. And God started pricking my heart like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You just need to find it. So I went to several churches, and it was just certain things being fresh out of that trauma was like, I can't deal with this.
Familiar,
oh my God, I can't deal with this.
It was pretty intense for him.
And I would just, bro, I promise you, I'd be sitting in church like this. The more it's like, it felt like theatrics in a lot of them. I can't deal with this. And I would get up and walk out. Faith Chapel was the first place that hit me when Pastor Mike said, the counterfeit proves only the real exist. That's the word I needed to hear that day. So when he said that, I was like, this is where I need to be at.
That's a word.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, cool. And I borrowed that, by the way. I hope Pastor Mike, you see this. I borrowed that.
I don't think he minds.
I owe you royalties on that. I owe you royalties on that.
I like that.
And so I began attending Campus A, which Caesar know that was the best ever because it's like 7:30.
Oh,
By
yeah,
9 o'clock,
yeah.
you're back at the house in the bed, sleep. You can sleep for the rest of the day on your Sundays. So I'm a barber, Sundays and Mondays are my weekend.
Right.
And so I got there, and how we met was she wasn't my type. Like, I like healthy girls. Okay, like curvaceous, BBWs, that everybody want to call them. I don't call them big, I call them bold, beautiful women. Okay, let's get rid of the big term. They're bold, beautiful women.
Hey,
you are bold and beautiful. If y'all hear this,
I feel like I have to
this.
pause you here because I am an advocate for the curvy women as well.
Hey,
So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, been slept on. Been like that.
Country
since high
road.
school.
Country road.
You see what I'm saying? Red beans and rice, cornbread, fed, baby. So
Continue on.
So that part. So I had to say that so you know that it was. Sometimes our type is detrimental to us, and when we date, we want to stay with our type, and they treat us the worst. They treat us the absolute worst. So I said, okay, understanding that, and it was kind of ironic at the same with the timing, but she actually inquired about me to my mother first, because she knew my mother and my sister by them being in the choir together.
Okay.
So she asked the question, and when I saw her, no lie, I saw her legs first.
Ooh.
Like, I don't mean like I was gazing. She was literally sitting down. I was like, man, I'm a leg guy. I was like, she has some nice legs. And so I was walking. All of a sudden, she was sitting there with her legs crossed, with a black dress on, talking to my mom. And so I walked out. I acknowledged and I walked out. So my sister was like, she was like, that's your brother? She was like, yeah, that's my brother. So she said she was getting inquiries left and right. But because she had a relationship with her, she was like, I think y'all two would be cool together. So eventually I said, man, look, I'm open to it. I'm single. I'm not talking to anybody. Cool. I ended up walking into her car at the church or whatever, still do the same thing, Jim, open the door, so to speak.
Yeah.
Did all that. And all of a sudden, okay, slowly, relationship exchange numbers, we got to talking. And let's just say a lot of the conversation, again, like we talked about the fantasy part, a lot of the conversation that we would have fit the fantasy of my mind what I was thinking. It's like if she was hitting all the correct notes. Oh, this is it. And I was not so sexually tempted with her either. So we didn't even...
Wait, even with the legs?
Even with the legs.
Okay.
And that was like weird for me because here's the thing. Men have appetites. We have sexual appetite. Let's be real. We do.
For sure.
And for me not to have that, it was like, it felt like a level of respect. It was like, oh, this is different. Maybe she's it. Because the things that I'm used to operating in, I was normally doing, was the exact opposite.
That makes sense.
So I'm like, okay. So it made me lock in and focus more. We spent more time. Like I would go over to our house. I wouldn't stay past 9. I'd be 8:45. I'm getting ready to get up out of there. I wouldn't go exploring around the house. Wouldn't do anything. Come to the living room. We chopped it up. Then we did. Hey, go. Time to go. Not having sex with you, by the way. Ain't happening.
You were saying that? Oh.
She was like, I don't want to. I said, listen, you ain't got to worry about that. Not doing it. Because it's like something. It was something in me that just triggered it. It was like, this is not the right way to go with this one.
Sure. Just for context, how old were you at this time?
I was, I just freshly got, I was in barber school, so I was 37.
Okay, cool.
I was 37 at the time.
Wow.
Okay.
So that, and we ended up meeting, and of course, the conversations got deeper, more spiritual.
Sure.
Prayer life, things like that. It started off like that, wonderful, the way that it should have, traditional.
Okay.
5 months in, month 6, December 1st, we were married.
Oh, wow.
So we talk about the vetting process. We've been talking about that a lot the past several episodes about vetting. Was there anything that during the dating process, was there anything that you noticed? Obviously, you're not going to be perfect, right?
Right.
But were there some things that you may have saw that may have reared its ugly head on the marriage side?
Honestly, no, because I didn't look for it. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't think to look for it.
Gotcha.
Again, I fed myself to fantasy, guys. So I'm not looking at what people don't like Donald Trump, but he said one of the most powerful things after that, before, but it came back up, is that show me the downside of something, because the upside will take care of itself. So I didn't even look for that. What is the downside of what we got going on? Because right now, this is just too perfect. You know what I'm saying? This is fitting too nicely.
Wow.
Want me to tell you why I know now, understanding that it was fitting so perfect and so nicely, because I did not know how to vet and did not know the right tough questions to ask.
That's actually pretty powerful. You fed yourself a fantasy so that you couldn't see reality.
Not at all.
Oh my goodness.
Were you
breathe for a second?
Were you like making adjustments to yourself in order to fit into that fantasy?
I was.
Okay. So you weren't your true self? You were just like changing yourself to fit in that, you think?
It was flashes.
Okay.
It was flashes of me in that. But again, here's the weird part about that. Why it was so detrimental for that to happen. I'm still freshly out of this church hurt that I was in, right? The manipulation part. Now, to bring context to it, I was 21 when I went in. I'm 36 when I got out. Okay? And I promise you, it's like God stopped time. Because I promise y'all, it was the weirdest feeling ever. It picked right back up. I felt 21 when I got out. I was 36, but my mindset went right back to 21. And I didn't know it until after all these events occurred that I had 15 years of growing up to do. And I had to do it quick. Because my life literally stopped at that point. You know what I mean? My grandfather dies. My dad dies right behind him. 6 months behind him. I'm grieving. So I get suckered in to go into this. It's the worst situation ever. I come out of it and jump right into a relationship. So what I'm saying? The person that helped me get out was a long-term, somebody that I love long-term. It didn't work out. End up getting married. Like, I didn't even take time. Here's my problem. Like, this is where I failed. I did not take time to vet Chris. I didn't take time to sit in front of the mirror and ask, bro, what are you doing? Who are you? Where are you at? Because I didn't like myself. I was so terrified to find out I did not like myself, so I did not get in front of the mirror. So the next best thing was to connect with somebody else physically. So I can focus and lock in on this instead of healing from inside out. I was trying to do it outside in, and it was not working.
So you get married, and how is that going?
Instant flip-flop. It was an instant flip-flop.
What do you think, was it, what changed? Did you change? Did What?
The real her came out.
Okay.
Let me tell you. So
Anything, you about to answer. You about to
go
answer.
ahead.
What anything sparked that real hurt?
Right. Was there a catalyst for the flip flopping?
Well, okay. No, let me back up. This taught me what to ask. What is your family dynamic? After this situation, I know what is your family dynamic. I didn't find that out till afterwards.
That's a serious question. Yep. I heard it on the podcast once.
Right.
What's your family dynamic? Like, what is your relationship? I have a great relationship with my mom. You see what I'm saying? I have a great relationship. I'm talking about she can tell me straight up, and I will shape up and fly right.
Yeah.
But she did not have one with her mother, and pitched it as if it was some sort of rift between them. And I'm gonna show you how something should have told me kicked in, bro. Nigga, this ain't right. Nigga, help me.
Right.
Help me.
Yeah.
Right.
So, check this out. We didn't have a wedding, bro. We eloped. My mother was not there. Her mother was not there. My family wasn't there. Her family wasn't there. We eloped.
I don't think I knew that.
We eloped and took off to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Whose idea was that?
It was her idea. And I went with it.
Because
of the fact of
it's part of your healing from the outside.
Yeah.
Knowing good and well, deep down.
something ain't right about this.
Because she doesn't have anyone to invite to the wedding?
She did not want to invite them. Because it was a rift. They were not close. And I come to find out that was a lot of family freaking awesome.
Oh.
I love them people. Like, I had a good time with them. There are a lot of her family has a lot of older people in it, right? But they were good people. And her mother, which I love her, but you know how some people are, she's just a little dramatic. Right? That's not
like my kind of lady.
that's not awful. You know what I mean? That's not a terrible person.
It's different.
You just add you just sprinkle a little drama on some situations sometimes.
It's part of personality.
Acting and, you know what I'm saying? Just the old school type stuff. But that's not, that's
hilarious.
Right?
That's funny.
Right?
Yeah.
So, man, I'm going to tell you specifically. So we got married December 1st. December 2nd, we literally was basically getting ready to head in. December 3rd, I don't know if you remember David, that he kind of hangs with us tall. I can't remember David's last name. But David came to pick us up and take us to the airport. Because we left the cars there. So he picked us up and dropped us off at the airport.
Okay.
And so the night before, man, I'm talking about we had a good time. We still not, keep in mind, we still hadn't consummated a relationship to marriage.
What?
Still hadn't done anything. Right. But it wasn't like we had to get some sleep because we had a 3:00 flight. We had to be up and at the airport and get ready to go.
Me and my wife had to get up early too.
We did too. But I'll tell you one thing that was happening.
So
we can sleep on the plane.
Again, you see, but so now you guys see the issue. Like, I'm not adding this up. Like
I see
the
what you
man,
mean.
I'm
Right.
not paying no attention to none of this.
That's crazy.
Right? So we get on the plane and we land, bro. And so we land, that was the worst place to go if you're a married man. That's the worst place to go. Listen, fellas, if y'all listen to me, don't go to your honeymoon or to the Dominican Republic. Don't go to the DR. Don't go to Punta Cana more specifically, because I went to Punta Cana. Okay,
Twice.
so my man said twice. So
He ain't bringing sand to the beach.
right. And so, man, when we get there, bro, it's like we land, we get in the room, I'm enjoying it. Like, this is literally, here's a positive part of that. I had never been out of the country.
Okay.
Ever. I didn't leave. I'm talking about just travel. I never really been out of the state of Alabama. I probably been to Atlanta more times than I can count.
Right.
But as far as just, that's not travel. That's 2 hours, whatever. I'm
Right.
saying go to Detroit, go to certain places and see this great country of ours or whatever. Never been to none of it. Outside, I've never left Alabama. Country is a bowl of biscuits. So, with that situation, right? I get there, we land in Punta Cana, man. So this is a beautiful sight. And I'm talking about, I instantly get this feeling like, man, something's not right. But I'm suppressing it because we're supposed to be having a good time.
Right.
But something's like, bruh. It felt like the Kill Bill thing. I'm like, man, this is not good, bro. And so I'm riding, and I'm getting, the closer we get into the hotel, the number I'm getting numb.
But you don't know what it is.
I don't know what, man. I was like, man, what is going on? Bro, we consummate the marriage, and it was just like, what the fuck did I just do? I'm literally sitting in the bed. Like, you know what? It was like, you know how Eddie Murphy had the Robin Givens dropped the $40 and he pulled the covers up to his chest and
Hammer time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're talking about Robin Givens. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Right. You see what I'm saying? When in Boomerang.
And she,
He
yeah,
finally
left
he
him.
made his match and how he pulled the covers up. That's what it felt like. Like, bro, what did I just do? And I'm looking around the room like I'm literally.
Did you just have PNC?
Bro,
Was that PNC for you?
Felt like it. Bro, I'm telling you, when I'm sitting there, she's gone, and bro, I'm sitting in the bed like, bro, what? I'm talking. It's an instant.
It's a family show, so
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Will y'all tell me off air?
yes.
Okay.
You still didn't get it.
So I'm sitting there, bro, in the bed, bro. When I tell you, it was the worst feeling I ever felt in my life, bro. What? That's all that was going in my head, bro. What the fuck did I just do?
Oh, I know what it is.
You see what I'm saying?
I love this podcast. I love this podcast. Go ahead.
We picked him up at the bus stop. We picked him up. We left him, but we picked him
I'm
up.
still on 3G. So
I was 4G for a second. Then I had to catch up to 5G. C's always 5G.
Of course.
So, bro, I'm just like, I'm promise you, bro, like for the rest of the trip, I'm picking up everything. Everything that I should have seen, bro, I'm picking it up like, what the fuck? Oh my God. It was like instant change, dude. Instant change. Do you hear what I'm telling you? It wasn't I'm gonna wait till we get back. It was like, gotcha. It felt like Jax. Gotcha. Ooh. So I'm like, oh my God.
Let me ask you this question before you continue on, because I think this is a great point that we can use here. When we're talking to men, we're talking to men about vetting. We'll pick this back up.
Absolutely.
Do you think that it's great advice to encourage men to, even if you haven't, right? I encourage men to practice abstinence, but it's important to look at her like a woman you've already slept with.
Absolutely. That is a amazing viewpoint.
It removes the haze that you have about her in this situation. Look at her as though you've already slept with her. So now you see everything.
Now she off the pedestal.
Now she's right. Now you see everything, and you don't have to make excuses. You just see it as it is.
Because tell the truth, some of us guys, after we get it, we disinterested.
Yeah.
It's like I don't really like that she do that. Her pinky toe overlap.
I got what I came for.
Yeah,
On
it's
to
like
the
the excitement just wore off. It's just not a new shiny toy now.
Wait, did you just say her pinky toe?
Yeah, like you just find
He said overlap. You just caught that? Yeah, he did say that.
Just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like
Now it's hammer time. Now it's hammer time.
But now you see the crease in the Air Force.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, you got a bunch of black Air Forces in the corner with crease in the time. Extra stage, hey, you had to pull the snacker pussy. Extra stage left even. You know what I mean? So,
but yeah,
you have to, like, that's crucial. Like, sex muddies the water. It muddies the water. Like, I don't care.
Yes.
The
Yes.
longer you wait, because think about it now.
Yes.
What if we had a consummated, a quote unquote relationship during that time? The marriage would have never happened. I would have avoided that.
Yeah.
So by me going traditionally, moving outside of that, and not viewing that point, so I was looking at, ooh, this is what's to come.
Yeah.
Instead of, man, I already got that. Let me see what she about. I don't like it. Or, hey, this will still work. I can rock with this.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, because there's no perfection in it. Because you're seeking to it, something to strive for, but we'll never reach it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, yeah, man, if you view it like that, I'm telling you, it'll bring a lot of clarity.
And if I could interject, my wife and I waited before we got married.
Right.
Like we didn't. And we dated for almost 3 years.
That's tough.
Yeah, but like,
Congratulations on that, because I mean, much respect. That's hard, bro.
We did.
That's hard, bro.
It was almost 3
Yeah.
for me and my wife.
not easy.
Right,
Not
at
easy
all.
at all. I'm not gonna say it is.
Compromising situations, long. You know what I'm saying? You in a
Yes.
long romantic mood,
Yes.
life, everything is set up right.
Yes.
And to not do it, hey,
Oh my
I commend you, bro,
gosh.
because that's tough, bro.
But here's the thing, though. We set that I guess expectation on the front end. Actually, I set that because the thing with my wife
That's
is
what's up.
Yeah, well, the thing with my wife is like I knew there was something different about her from the onset. I've told this story on the podcast before. We weren't even friends to begin with, and I used to think like, well, that's kind of crazy, but it ended up being the biggest blessing just in terms of viewpoint and everything like that. But specifically, what you're talking about when sex is not on the radar, and you're not trying to wonder should I slide in or whatever, and you go ahead and you establish that, yeah, now you got a relationship to work with. But the biggest thing is on that wedding night, you talking about something special. Oh my God.
That first time connection, man, is
Whoa.
it's
Something I'll
supposed
never
to be
forget.
magical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If for a lack of a better word, it's supposed to be magical.
Yeah. Oh, I was David
And I
Blaine in that
understand,
thing.
but see, I understand why. That's hilarious.
Goodness Christ.
He just stopped me
Sorry,
right in the middle of my
family show.
point. He just
We
he
off
just
the
stopped me
rails.
right in the
We're off the
middle of my-
we're off the rails.
Yeah.
Listen,
Hey,
My bad.
what I would say because basically we did the same thing. But what it helped me, Chris, is that I have been in relationships prior to my wife where sex was a part. It was a factor of the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And my vision was blurred.
a huge factor. Matter of
Talk
fact.
about it.
So I couldn't vet properly because I'm trying to get to the next
Peace. Or
Yes.
next session.
Next
Let's
session.
call it session.
Let's call it session. I'm looking forward to the next session. I'm sexmatized at this point. So I'm not thinking in light of okay, what is happening in front of you? Are you willing to just continue to sweep it under the rug until you get to the next session? But when you remove sex off the table, your patience for certain things drops, is what I've learned. Because now I'm not looking forward to the next high, the next dopamine hit.
I deal with this so I can get that.
Right.
Right.
I deal with this.
So when you
This
take
is
it
a
off,
deal breaker.
when you take it off the table, now you got to sit with it. Now you got to deal with it. Now you can really properly vet because I'm not being manipulated by this dopamine hit.
Right.
I say it all the time. Like, if you be honest, man, women walk around with a drug for most men.
Come on now.
That thing is a drug.
Come on now.
Let's just be
Facts.
real. That thing is a drug.
Yes.
So think
Facts.
about how some guys would so easily discard that. Okay, well, you don't want to give me your drug. I just find another drug.
Chris,
I
think
just found another
about
drug
think
dealer.
about how many
a great
dudes,
analogy.
if they be honest, aren't getting a lot of sex and then you get it.
You gonna go crazy.
See what I'm saying?
You're
Ain't
gonna
gonna
be
be
like,
standing.
listen, you're gonna be like Hammer with the parachute pants. You slide,
Yeah.
you gonna be sliding back and forth.
Sliding out.
Sliding out of there.
Uh-oh.
Tight right there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's talk about it.
So you realized, wow, what an amazing place to be where you realize something ain't right. You finally begin to see with clarity.
Bro,
So what happened?
so we get there and she wants to keep going, more sessions. And I'm like, I don't want to do nothing.
Oh, word?
Like, I don't
Do you
even
know
wanna
what
do
it
that.
is?
I was just, bro, I was turned off. I could not tell you. It's nothing she physically done to me.
You just
like-
had a bad
just-
feeling.
I was just like,
Really?
And it wasn't, now, man, it's not, this is not comedy, but it's the truth too. It wasn't because it was a lot of cheeks and dental floss walking around there too. It wasn't that I was distracted by how, because those women over there are sex, like I mean that in Punta like,
Yeah.
bro, it's a serious distraction over there. Like if you are not a disciplined man, you are gonna be in deep trouble over there. And they're very aggressive.
The women are aggressive?
Oh my God. I'm finna tell y'all how this is what contributed to the situation too, right?
Sometimes it's not a bad thing, but go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes it's not. But over there, man, it's like you don't know what their agenda is. I would say that too.
Oh, sure.
So they could be getting paid off of it. Could be
yeah.
getting a husband to get a, you know what I'm saying, passport or
And they could be
you know,
carrying.
visa.
Shut
They
up.
could be carrying. They ain't no
Shut
saying
up.
what their reason. They're gonna
Yeah.
get you somehow. Like my granddad said, they don't get you in the washer, they get you in the rinser.
Lord.
Like that. Oh, I got to use these all analogies.
I
man.
love
they still
them.
work.
I'm here for those.
They still work.
Chris, you're old soul. I love it. I love it.
I'm an old guy, man. Old guy, young body. So, bro, we did what we did or whatever, but I know that at that time we made vows. So my body ain't no longer mine, so I have to.
Yeah.
Out of respect, I'm going to still honor you because that's not fair to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I found a way. I was like, okay, I still like it. Let's do what we do. This maybe I'm tripping. And this, at this time, guys, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm tripping. It's the women, right? I'm tripping. So, like certain things, like watching out for me was. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk.
I just, and this is probably not a question that'll make it to the
go
recording.
for it.
But you didn't have any problems getting your SIM card activated.
No,
like,
my SIM card was there.
Okay,
but it was just
okay.
like it was just something
just-
about
just-
it was something missing. Like it's funny you say that. That's true because like when they act like women's the only one that can't. You know what I'm saying? They can't turn on the waterworks sometimes.
right.
But we're nerdy.
But we're, you know what I'm saying?
But we're nerdy.
Right.
But, okay.
So
No.
I'm on 3G. I gotta ask these questions.
No. You
That's a
asked.
good question, but
I'm
that's
just
a
saying you
serious question,
asked
though. That's
the
a
you
good
asked the
question.
nerdy
Yeah.
questions. All of
that's a good question because the simple fact you would think if you're
SIM
not truly
card.
turned on by somebody, your SIM card is not going to go in the slot.
Right.
It's going to go in the slide backwards. It's not going to fit. It ain't got enough memory. You feel me? It's just something going to
You're
be
not
wrong
gonna
with
get
it.
a connection.
You're not. You're not. You can't save nothing.
Right.
Don't save her.
Don't save her. Don't save her. Right? So, I mean, we walk around on the beach. I'm going to give y'all an instance. Like, I didn't even feel like you completely had my back with certain things. I got an instant seeing that. So we're laying there, bro. I told this story several times. We're laying, y'all know the pool loungers. We're laying on the pool loungers. You know, they got alcohol right where Black's sitting, just like right there. Swim up pool. So I done got my fill, bro. I am tipsy. I'm talking about I am nearly all the way up. Tip drill. I'm talking tips. I'm about to look for a tip drill when it kick in all the way.
We talking all inclusive.
All
everything.
inclusive.
Okay.
Make sure y'all go all inclusive to Punta Cana. So so we there, and the alcohol was a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It took more shots to get it. So I'm talking about, man, it's 84 degrees. Back home here in Birmingham, it's 34 or 28. You know, we looking at it's 28 degrees, so it's cold as all get out there. So I'm in A shirts. I mean, wife beaters is like to call. I hate that term, but I'm in A shirts and shorts all week. You know what I'm saying? Might have rained twice. So we laying there. This day one, fellas. This is day one. I'm laying there and I hear a guy go, God damn. I'm like, man, it woke me up out of my nap, and I had my glasses on, and I just seen two dudes like looking this way, just doing this. They shaking their head. I'm like, what are they look? Oh my God, that's what they're looking at. Man, when I tell you. This, oh my God, I can't even describe her. She had like cocoa skin. Long hair was pulled back in one of them ponytails, and she was coming out from the beach side. So I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God. I said, please don't stop right here. Please don't stop right here. Please don't stop right here. Just keep walking. Don't stop right here. Don't stop right here.
You didn't have your
And I'm
sunglasses?
I had my sunglasses
Okay,
on,
good-
but I was
good
trying to
play.
act like I was asleep, like I was up at this point. She's my wife next to me, ex-wife next to me, knocked out. And I'm sitting here like, please don't stop right here. Please don't stop right here. And you just hear guys just going off. They're like, oh, my motherfucker. Nigga, do you see? Nigga, bro. Man, who gonna holler at? I'm talking about she walks right up to where my lounger. And I'm laying there and you can feel the shadow over you because the sun is like beaming right here. So all of a sudden the sun ain't beaming no more. I'm like, oh my God, she stopped right here. I was like, God, I thought me and you were cool. Like, you ain't helping me out right now. And so I'm just laying there. She was like, hola. And I said, okay, I'm usually quick with it, but I couldn't say it. Man, I ain't had no comeback. I like, how do I say no black? I was like, no bueno. Nah, that ain't gonna work. So I'm sitting here trying to come. I was like, I just like, no habla español. And I put my glasses down. I was like, God, listen, she had like basically, it was just barely covering up the I'm gonna call them chocolate chips.
Okay.
It was barely covering up the chocolate. It was just like literally dental floss. Every ounce of skin was out. and was standing right there next to me, like trying to get my attention, like, hey, you know, you want, I said, no. She was like, and?
Oh.
She was like, both of y'all. I was like, I said, get up. Hey, get up. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't move. I'm screaming, trying to get her attention. Like, I need you to deal with this chick. Like, she's not taking no for an answer. So she still asleep. She was like, what? I said, okay. I just grabbed my hand, like, come on, we got to go to the room. I got to use the restroom. And I get up, and the chick's standing there like, and you hear all the dudes like, this nigga crazy.
Right.
I would have jumped at that dude. Bro, I don't care nothing about that, bro. I'm finna go. I honor my vows. You know what I mean? I just sat there before God and said, I'm going to take care of this woman.
Just the day before.
And then here it come. Right here, I'm talking about.
Next day. Wow.
You're a good man.
Seriously.
I try my best, bro. I really believe that. When I stand for something, I stand for it. I didn't get married to go out here and sow my wild oats somewhere else. We finna work this out. So whatever I was feeling, like, 'cause trust me, if I'd have stayed there long, being transparent,
It's only so long.
It would have pitched the tent. She would have known. Okay, you ready? So I got to go. All these feelings. I'm finna take it out on her. I'm finna drill for oil, sir. Finna drill for oil. We going to Texas tea. You hear me? For real. So I had to get out of there, but it was like, you didn't protect me in that moment. You didn't even.
Yeah.
Like, I would expect, like, you ain't got to say nothing. All you had to do was say, a dude, look at you wrong. I'm dotting his eye. I don't care where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I'm coming across the table.
Yeah.
Wrong move. And I didn't get that same energy back, so I was like, okay, that's number one.
When did you begin to realize back home, trying to walk this marriage life out? When did you begin to realize that, I don't know, bro?
A week. A week
Chris.
into it. I'm not playing, bro.
A week?
A week into it, bro, I was like, this is a mistake. This is catastrophic, bro. Listen what I'm telling you. Like, when I got home, when you don't go exploring, guys, don't make this mistake I made. Walk around that girl house, check her bathrooms, open doors, go down to her baby, just wander around. Be childish, walk around. Because it was a deal breaker. Walked around, I was like, what the
Boy,
I was like,
you in my notes, Chris, but I'm gonna let you preach.
My bad.
I'm gonna let you cook.
I was apologizing to myself. My bad, my nigga. We ain't gonna check that out. You should have looked at this.
Oh, wow.
You should have looked at this. You didn't see this. I ain't see this. Now you in it. And this is a total deal breaker. Because growing up, my mom was spotless. Like, you can eat off the floor. Like, you could take your tongue and run across the floor and you wouldn't pick up a speck of dirt. Not the case. Not the case. And I was like, okay, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And it was like, you started seeing the promises that were told to you during the dating phase. Wolf tickets. Wolf tickets. And I'm talking about, it wasn't, when I tell you, it wasn't, as time passed, he progressed. Bro, it was like, about as fast as you turn that light switch off, that's how fast it changed.
As things begin to the marriage or the relationship began to end, what were some of the things you begin to deal with, from reputation, feeling, how were you feeling? Because there's an argument that exists that people believe that men love harder than women, right? That's an argument. It's debatable. But I think what hits men hard is just the feeling of failure and how that hits our ego.
Immense.
What were you dealing with in that moment for again, this is off the heels of what you dealt with your church hurt. So going from a life event of marrying this person who you thought was your forever to shortly after realizing, I don't think this is going to work, how did you process and handle that?
Counseling. Let's go to counseling.
Nice.
Because see, like, what most people do is go to premarital counseling. But how many of us go to postmarital counseling?
Yeah.
Now we went to postmarital. Okay, these were the issues going in. We're tweaking those. These are the issues. This is the real thing. Now that we're in it, this is the problem. But the problem that we had was it was always me being on the barbecue pit. It was always me with the apple being turned over and roasted. It was never her. I was getting grilled. She's sitting there. Yep, he the problem. Him. But you giving me hell at home. You are giving me absolute pure hell at home. When I mean pure hell, bro, I'm sitting in, I'm not an avid smoker, right? Bro, I'm getting blowed. Going home, sitting in the driveway, waiting for that to kick in just so I can go in the house.
Oh, wow.
And every single time that happened, guess what wanted to happen? It's time for the horizontal hokey pokey.
Wow.
So that helped me even get through that. You see what I'm saying? It was an atmosphere I didn't want to be in. But at the same time, I did not want to be the man that quit on his marriage without even trying. Just mail it in. And guess what? Here's why that's significant, guys. I was a quitter growing up. It got tough, I quit. Football, I quit. Basketball, got tough, I quit. Job, got on my nerves, things happened, I quit.
But with marriage,
I couldn't. As much as he would tell me the fight or flight kicked in, flight was like, remember me?
yeah.
Yo, old buddy? But fight said, nah, we got this one.
But it goes back to what you said earlier. You knew from even a youth.
Is what I
be a
was.
husband. Yeah.
So
okay.
I can't sign on to this knowing what I am and then turn around and back out when I'm faced with it.
Right.
You can't quit when stuff gets tough.
Essentially been preparing for this.
I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
But now the problem was I was never prepared by people who were married. This is what you look for. This is what you ask for. This is what you need to be. This is the type of man. I didn't find this out till after I crossed that threshold that I was immature and was not ready for the issues that were going to come up. I was ill prepared,
I'm
bro.
right there with you.
And I was getting my head lobbed off at every bad decision I made. And I was constantly reminded it was a bad decision. Well, you're not helping, ma'am. Appreciate it. You're really not helping right now. So it was tough because like after that week, it was like, okay, I can either run or I can stay here and try to find out. I'm asking, what kind of counseling sessions can we go to? Now, people feel some type of way when I say this, but I think you should get premarital counseling from ministers or your pastor if you can. And also even what you want to call secular counseling, I think you need two perspectives. Now, that's what I wish I had done, got two perspectives on it. Because, everything they kept, because sometimes not saying scripture's not functional, but sometimes you need to hear from a different perspective too. And it may even help you understand, okay, so this is what they were trying to say on the spiritual side. But let's talk about the real side. How you view this? Okay, cool, let's do this. But it's hard when you have only one person truly trying and a person giving you the image that they are trying. So we were going to counseling. She was giving the image of trying, but I kept bringing up the counseling thing. When an argument was, you're bringing up divorce, I'm bringing up counseling. You're bringing up, I'm going to send you back to your mama. I'm bringing up, let's try to work this out and see what we can make out of this. It's not as bad as you're saying it is, but it's going to keep getting there if you keep manifesting that.
Yeah. So how long did that last of counseling? Like, how long were y'all going till it reached a conclusion?
We went, I say probably went about maybe 3 sections.
Okay.
That wasn't even, that was premarital and 2 postmarital sessions. We also joined a group that was, these people were going to the Church of the Highlands. We also joined their group.
Okay.
And I leaned on Brent. And these were our Caucasian brothers and sisters. So I leaned on him. He was married 20 plus years. So of course, let me take your advice. Let me see what you're talking about. And he gave me something that I still, have. It's at home now, but he gave me like a list of things to look for. And I keep it folded up. And I'm like, okay, this is like, I'm going to work on these things.
Okay.
And so I kind of extended out and tried to find everything that I could, every piece of advice. There was sometimes you gave me stuff just in conversation that I went back, prayed over and went back, and it just didn't work. LP, leaned on him, prayed about it, didn't work. Brent, prayed about it, didn't work. Went to marriage counselor, didn't work. Like nothing I tried was working. It's like the more I tried and the more I put the effort into it, the more rebellion I got toward it. I'm like, what is... Okay. So after that week, I realized now a weekend, I said, okay, maybe we knew a little bit. They always say the first year the toughest. You make it through the first 3 years, you can get there. You can get there. You possibly can make it work. So I instantly shifted my mindset to that. Now here's the crazy part that I realized. I picked loyalty over being loved. I was trying to be loyal when I wasn't even felt like I was getting loved back. But because of the image of you failed your marriage, sir. That's your fault. I knew I was going. If that marriage had dissolved, and no matter what time it was, I knew it was going. I was going to get blamed for it.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna get blamed for it, let me go ahead and kill all that narrative by doing everything I can right now. So when it doesn't work, I've exhausted all measures, and I have a free and clear conscience and spirit to walk away when it's time to walk away from it. I have no reserves. I have no. I wish, shoulda, woulda, couldas. I'm not gonna have that. So I used to do that in basketball. I gave it up. I didn't know to persevere through things, but I gave it everything I had when I was in there. So that's still in me as well. Once I'm locked in, that's it. And that's what I tried to do, and it just didn't work.
So we're gonna move ahead. You're now divorced. What was kind of your mental?
Whole phase.
Wow.
Straight whole phase, man.
Yeah.
I mean, went straight to it.
Which I think is typical.
That's what you typically do. Like, let's see what's out here now. Let's just go have fun. Put love on hold, not studying it. Know what I'm saying? Because you licking your wounds at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, it rears its ugly head. I don't want to face that dude in the mirror. I don't want to face him. So let me clap as many cheeks as I can. And that was my mindset.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I'm going to lie to these chicks and tell them. I'm going to just, where I would have been from that gentleman, that soft-spoken guy, that good guy everybody want to perceive, I would have never said some of the things that you said after my divorce. I would have never I would have never been direct. I'd have kind of hoping we'll get there. Like, can we get there? Now it's like, hey, listen, I'm not looking for no relationship. I'm trying to tap that. You in or you out? What I'm in? Okay, cool. But you know this ain't gonna happen but a couple times, right?
That's really how it went down.
I can't do this long term. Cause think about it. I know I'm a marriage guy. No, I know I'm a husband, right? This was the dumb part about the whole situation. I'm still trying to dip my toe in the water over here, but I know it's not gonna work long term. So let me go ahead and tell you, don't look for this to be something that we're gonna do a year and 6 months from now. We might have 3 sessions and I can't do it no more.
Right.
Like I really can't do it no more. Not because I'll get bored. And when I tell guys, fellas get mad at me when I tell you that's the most emptiest time that I've ever had in my life doing that.
I've had guys tell me the same thing.
That's happened to me.
Bro, that is so, listen to me, man.
That's happened to me.
When I tell you that is so empty, but I cannot emphasize how empty I felt, whether I stayed the night and left the next morning, whether I left after that night.
That is so awkward. That is so
It's the
awkward.
weirdest feeling,
It's
bro.
cool if you give me a trap beat and I talk about it.
Well, sure, but again, it's there's a rush towards it, but once you're done, that is very awkward. Very awkward.
That's the part you're not gonna hear a song about.
That is so awkward.
Unfortunately.
But think about
that's real. That's real.
But think about, okay. Here's the difficult part that we don't look at, and I had to face. It's easy to open that, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to start a friends with benefit situation. It's not easy to close it. How do you close that? How do you go to this person and say, you know what? I'm no longer interested in you. I no longer want. I don't want.
You're dealing with a human
being with real feelings and thoughts and emotions that see
and has some type of attachment to you now because y'all.
Because now a lot of them couldn't deal with you until they build that emotional connection with you.
Yeah.
I forget what the term is called.
Soul ties.
So that part.
Soul ties.
Yeah.
So think about it.
That's real.
Now here's what's the crazy. Here's how I knew I'm different. Right. 3 months after 90 days after I did that, this ain't it. I ain't finna do this no more.
90-day whole phase.
90-day whole phase, it was over with.
Done.
Over with.
Wow.
I remember talking to my aunt Valencia, love of the life. I don't say love of the death, but I love of the life. And I remember I was on the phone because I was working at Walmart part-time with my best friend then, being a door greeter there. And I remember getting ready to go. I was on my break. She called me. I said, Auntie, I'm done. Because I told her, I'm finna go hit my whole phase. I'm like, ain't nobody finna talk me out of it. I'm finna tap as many water wells as I can get. I'm not finna hold back. You know what I mean? Because this the dark path I'm talking about. I no longer felt like I was that good dude, so I didn't have a standard to live up to anymore now. Because you reminded me every single day when I'm married, I was trash. You made me feel like that, so maybe I ain't this good dude that I always thought I was. You ruined my image of myself. So there ain't no need for me to try to hold on to this image and try to live up to, which that was actually my character and has always been my character. It's just been tried in this time and it just wasn't a good situation. It wasn't cultivated right. But at that time, I left that marriage, like, bro, I went downhill. That was me doing that for 90 days was a dark time for me because I'm not that type of guy.
Yeah.
I'm at least, and plus, my mother told me growing up was like, listen, don't sleep with a woman until you get to know her. I never had a one-night stand because of that. I don't know what that feels like. Because she embedded that in my head. She was like, what if somebody did that to your sister and your cousins? Man, dude, you know how many dudes I skint up over them? And how dare I turn into the same dude? Mm-hmm. That's a hypocrite at his finest.
Yeah.
So the one thing I'm going to do different between that guy that lies and the guy that's straight up, hey, listen, this is what I'm on. I'm going to give you a chance to make a choice. So you can't say, man, you got me. You tricked me into, you talked my drawers off. You did this. No. I told you what it was. You made a decision. We joined it. So that's my mindset when I got out of marriage. And I'm talking about, I remember the day distinctly. I was sitting in the car, I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do this. This is trash. Like, this sucks. Every day, you're looking at a new phase. Dang. Like, you keep test driving new cars every day. You don't want to commit to one car. You don't like the way that car drive. You like this car, but you just don't want this car at the time. You just you renting cars, in other words. I don't want to rent a car no more. I'm tired. I don't even like the version of renting cars because this one gas mileage is great, but it has no power. This one is a great economic car. This one got better space, and I can go long distances with this one, but the gas mileage sucks. So now I'm beginning to nitpick all three of the rental cars that I'm using. Wow. I'm like, I don't like neither one of these cars. So let me stop doing it. This is not fair to the rental car.
Women aren't cars, Chris.
Of course they're not.
They're not sneakers either. Okay. Now tell us what you are, women.
Yeah. Please tell us.
You're not.
Yeah. Analogy, okay.
Before y'all come it up.
Don't get wound up. It's just an analogy, okay. I'm giving you a picture.
It's okay.
So
love it.
So I realized that's what I was treating them in my mindset. And they weren't complaining. Now, don't get me wrong.
That's great, by the way.
In my mindset, I was like, I am treating them like a rental car. And I got convicted. For lack of a, I got so convicted living like that, dude. I can't do this anymore. I can't. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
So, boom. Henceforth, I let go. And that was the start of the emotional, spiritual, and mental rehab.
Can we go here or we...
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're here now. It's a progression. It's a progression.
This is the part I came for. All right. So we're out of this 90-day whole phase. The mental, what'd you call it?
Mental, spiritual rehab, emotional rehab.
Talk about that breaking point, though, to where you were just like, enough is enough.
When I woke up, man, and there was no communication in between sessions, with none of them. It was just the feeling of being used. I only need you when I need a nut, so to speak. You're not worth more than that. Was never said, was never implied, but it was always felt. Not doing this anymore, man. I'm worth more than this. I've always been worth more than God. You always made me different. Forgive me for even trying. Can't do that. And I'm talking about, I'm not saying I'm not a man now because I'm still single now. You know, and there's times you've hooked up with people, but I didn't go into it with that mentality like I did before, fresh out of marriage. I went with that mentality. I'm finna slow them out. I'm finna have fun.
Yeah.
Care about none of them. F marriage. Angry, bitter. You see what I'm saying? And I learned through paying attention to the situation, man. Again, God shows me stuff. He shows me that we talk about the yin and yang of things, right? There's always two sides to everything. But see, we talk about love and hatred and all this stuff, but bitterness, listen, bitterness began to make all my decisions. I didn't realize it. I didn't like a certain color car because she drove that car. I don't want that color. Great car, I don't even want that color because she had a car like that. That color, I don't want that color. Remind me too much of her. Matter of fact, I don't even want a Chevy. I used to love Camaros. I don't even want a Chevy. I don't even want to see that Chevy emblem. I don't even want to see it. Remind me of her. I don't want to eat at Rude Chris no more because that's what she like to eat. I don't even like that place. So I began stuff that I would normally, I wouldn't mind eating because we had that connection. I began to, all my decisions were made out of bitterness and hatred and anger and mad and disappointment and disgust, disdain. Like I'm running out of acronyms for it. All these, I'm talking about, you got to think about it. I am juggling all of these all the time. Until one day I just got tired of juggling. I started just, man, my arms are tired. I'm tired of carrying this. Done.
Yeah.
And it only took 90 days for me to realize that I need to shift.
It's really not a long time.
It's not.
Yeah.
When you think about it from that standpoint, that's not a long time. 3 months.
Right.
And it was a solid 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean 90 and a half days. It was literally 90 days when I decided I'm going to do that to when I said, this is not it. Yeah. I got to find something else to do because this, nope. And I'm telling you, the feeling that I left after that, I tell you, going back, because this was, you asked me what the moment was, and I had to reflect. The moment was when the divorce was finally like, this is happening. Man, I cried. It was a 10-minute ride. I cried the most bitter cry. It felt like death. It felt like I died when I knew I was gone. Bro, I felt like, I'm telling you, when I tell you it felt like I physically died, dude. The marriage was over with. And I cried because as bad as I felt like I was being treated in that marriage, I still did not want to hurt her. Because I knew me saying this, that it's done, like I done already packed my stuff up. But for the decision to basically dry in the concrete felt like death, dude. That was the most painful drive to the barbershop. And I had to get myself together to go in the shop to cut hair. Like I was so quiet that rest. I didn't laugh at none of the jokes. And it was, if anybody know my boy Dewan, Dewan's the funniest dude ever.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? He's the funniest dude ever. I promise you, can go anywhere. Funniest dude, God-given talent. Just amazing. Right? I have a good one.
He right next to him.
I'm like, have a good one. See you later. All right, man. Dry.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to process. And what I didn't know, the manipulation there was still going. Because, like, I stopped sleeping in the bed and slept on the sofa. I didn't want to be near her because it was like, you really turning me into somebody I don't like. I don't know this dude. And, man, I would walk in, had the wedding album where I would sleep in my spot on the bed.
Oh, no.
I went in there to the shower because my stuff was in the bathroom. Went in there, had the wedding album there. It made me feel, that's when I really cried. I never felt that low in my life. I'm 6'4", bro. I felt like 110.
Jeez.
I'm like, and I began to think, am I doing the right thing? Am I? And I done went through, I'm talking about, it wasn't like things progressively got better and there was a sign, an inkling that, okay, we can do this thing. You know what I'm saying? This is Satan driven, just don't like marriage type of thing. I never got that feeling. I never got that feeling that there was any inkling of hope in it. It was like, get out. Get out. When the opportunity presents itself, skirt.
So I remember a conversation we had, This is during. I'm assuming this is during your dark moments. Remember, we had this conversation in the barbershop. This is when you first was like, okay, something different about you. We had I heard you talking, and I remember you. And I don't know if this was during the 90 day or where this was, but you were just getting back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were getting back out there.
Trust me, I remember this conversation. This was Stone. But continue.
But you talked about you being a gentleman and how that's over with.
It's over with.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's amazing you talk about that because it was so bad. Like the situation had gotten so bad that my mother even said they don't want the man that you are. These women do not want the man that you are, son. The man that we raised you to be, those values are dead. And for somebody who I love, she was not saying you're not wrong. You're still valuable. They just don't want it. And you got to be okay with that, son. You're a solid man. Like my mother rebuilt me. Like people think, oh, you a mama's boy. Yes, I am. But my mother did not dictate my marriage, anything of that nature. She just helped me realize you are not the man that you were portrayed in this marriage. You are not.
Yeah.
You are better than that.
Yeah.
Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you responded immaturely. You said some things you shouldn't have. You were not a servant leader. That's why I knew what it was. Because some of those responses, had I been spiritually mature like I should have been, had I been the man that I should have been and stood on my square, I would have known when to compromise on some things and when to stand strong. I couldn't tell you which one. They all blended together. So I just compromise. I compromised on a lot of stuff. And a lot of stuff that I ain't finna do nothing. Okay, no, bro. You should. I zigged when I should have zagged on a lot of that stuff, and it was so difficult. But I didn't know that till after I was married. Like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to operate. Got to be more careful. It don't worry about how she move. God it's you the head, bro. Yeah. And that don't mean that she's disciplined because a lot of guys misunderstand. Oh, I'm the head, but bro, you can't do nothing without your neck. Get a crick in your neck and see how you can turn your head.
Yeah.
You gotta if your wife had got a crick in her, you ain't gonna be able to turn nowhere.
Yeah.
You can't go nowhere. Yeah. Try to sleep with a crick in your neck and see how long it lasts. You trying to get that crick out of your neck as quick as possible.
True.
And a lot of men walk around here screaming at the head, but y'all got cricks in your neck. And sometimes a little heat to get that out. Sometimes God will put a little heat on you to loosen that muscle up. Just saying. And when I realized that, bro, I was like, nah, you still a husband, bro. But you can't be out here completely with that energy. With that mindset.
Yeah.
With that intention on top of that. Right? It was the intention.
Yeah.
I used to be a person, again, like what I'm saying, I used to be a person at that time that I wouldn't mind taking my time. Let's go out to eat. Let's go hang out. Let's go to a movie or something. Let's just chill out. We ain't got to just smash and then go on by my... No, at that time, I went in that session. All right, hit me when you're done. All right. It wasn't no get to know it. It wasn't caring about it. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, understanding how cool you were, man. F all that, bro. Either give it to me or you don't.
Oh, wow.
And I've never been that dude. And that was not comfortable. But again, I digress. I see why people stay in that position. Because it's feeling a physical need. It creates a hunger or something that will never be filled, bro. Never.
Do you think that that's people's way of settling?
It is. It's
like the connection, the relationship part is so hard. So I'll just settle for the physical act.
You remember the song, what, is it Soulish Nose? I tried to sex it away.
Oh, yeah. Solange, yeah.
Solange,
yeah.
Sorry.
Cranes in the Sky, yeah.
I tried to sex it away.
Yes.
That's when I heard that lyric, I was like, that's what I was doing at that time. I was trying to sex it away. When you see people doing that stuff, that's what they're trying to do. They're not, again, bro, the hardest, if I can put it this way, this is the only way I know how to say it. The path when it comes to any of these type of situations we're dealing with, the path that we have to take and we need to take is the one that we're not going to get on. That's the exact path to your healing is going through that right there. I don't want to go through that way. Well, that's the way you got to go.
That's real.
I don't want to go through that door God did, but that's the door that's in front of you. When I ain't going through, I'll just stay right here then. I'll stay right here. I ain't going.
So you went that way.
I went that way.
How was that?
Man, painful. Because you have to pull back. People don't understand when you go through rehab. I'm pretty sure you guys are athletes, so you know what rehab and injuries does. We ain't talking about just being hurt. We play hurt, jam finger, maybe sore shoulder, little knee bump, knee twisted ankle. That's hurt. But I'm talking about you tear your Achilles, you blow out. You know what I'm saying? You hurt your back, pull a dislocated shoulder. No, you got to rehab and get this thing completely back to at least operating percentage. You know what I'm saying? 80, 90, because it'll never be 100 again. So, but functional. Man, when I realized that, I said, okay, I got to go through all of this pain one last time.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep reliving this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep re-aggravating this injury when at the same time the rehab is going to aggravate the injury, but it's going to make you heal from the part by using it.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you have hip surgery, the first thing you do is they make you use it. You don't want to use it. You want to sit there and let it get stiff. No, you got to use it, make sure them joints slide and lubricate and do what they're supposed to do instantly.
Right.
So rehab sucks. It's the ugliest thing about love. It's the ugly thing about trauma. It's the ugliest thing is going through rehab.
Oof.
It's the ugliest thing about sport. Rehab is the ugliest thing about anything we do, especially after injuries.
It hurts.
And I'm gonna tell you, I say this all the time, and I pray this bless people. Some of these people are out here like I was, trying to play on the field with a torn Achilles. You are injured. You're trying to play out here with a torn ACL. Your meniscus is torn. You are not supposed to put that type of torque and pressure on that leg. But you are out here in the field playing, and you're damaging more and more people. You're hurting your team. You're hurting your team. You are your team. You are hurting your team, bro. By trying to play on an injury that you ain't got no business playing out on. Like, y'all remember Friday? I'm going to give you a perfect example. You remember Friday Night Lights with Boobie Miles?
Boobie Miles, yeah.
Boobie Miles was the best thing on the team. Yeah, he taught. But then when his team realized, bro, we really needed you, he said, man, guess what? I'm going to go get a second opinion. No, the first opinion was right. Your leg is torn up. You just paid this guy so you can get back out there. Yes, you can run in a straight line, but life ain't always a straight line, bro. You gonna have to juke sometime. And the minute he put pressure on the leg, he got right up off of it, got gang tackled. Bro, you are hurting your team, bro. All of us have been hurt by love. We out here loving hurt. You're gonna have those little, again, aches and pains, but injuries, you can look at somebody and tell they're emotionally injured.
Yeah.
Spiritually injured.
Yeah.
Mentally injured. You can look at them and tell, I'm fine. No, you not. You might be all right, but you ain't fine. So I realized, bro, like, again, still a long answer to it. I realized that I was, if I can say it this way, I realized I was injured, bro. That's the scariest place for me because I looked at that door as my rehab. You said I went through it, right? Mm-hmm. And you seen the change. I looked at it and I was like, man, I don't want to go that way. I'm scared to go that way. And I remember the words that God gave me in a poem I had wrote one time. These was the last words I had. God, give my feet courage when my heart is full of fear. My heart was full of fear to go that way. But I said, God, I asked you to give my feet courage. Just give me courage to go down this hallway. I don't know what's down here. I don't know what it looked like, but I know what I want, where I want to be at. So my heart, when I tell you my heart was full of fear, my emotional, my mental, all that stuff was full of fear. But my feet was brave. And I went anyway. Best decision I ever made. That's why I tell people the place you don't want to go is where your healing's at. It's where your growth at. It's where your knowledge at. It's where your $1 million ideas are. You can't do anything because all that's on your mind is how angry you are, how hateful you become. You can't even listen to the idea God done gave you. That's $1 million idea. Employ that. Nope. Man, I sat on the idea that I know there's $1 million idea that I just started putting together this year. I basically started getting them in my hand physically this year, but I was sitting on them because I had all that business. I couldn't do nothing with it because I wasn't the person I was supposed to be. So I had to go through that door so I could operate over here. I was never going to operate over here until I went through that door first. It was just going to remain a pipe dream. Period. So everything I'm needing, I had to go through that door. Period. It was no other way around it.
Chris, there's somebody listening to this right now on the brink of divorce. We don't know the situation. It could be a whole bunch of reasons. So we'll discredit that part. What would you tell them right now?
Have you done everything? Before you settle and you dig into your foxhole, because marriage can be a war sometimes. Before you dig in that foxhole, bro, did you do everything? Are you the leader you supposed to be? Did you give her something to submit to? While you screaming submit, did you give her something to submit to? Because last time I remember what the scripture tells you, it said, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, that he would die for the church. We stuck on, wives, submit yourselves before your husband, but we forget this part, as it is fitting unto the Lord. So in the eyesight of God, are you creating an atmosphere for her to submit to you? And if you're not, shut up. Stop complaining, bro. I don't want to hear nothing you got to talk about because I can't respect you. Because you're supposed to be an atmosphere changer. We don't realize husbands are atmosphere shifters. We're supposed to be atmosphere changers. Because think about when you come home. I'm pretty sure y'all done dealt with it because, of course, being married, when our wife done tore up the house, she going crazy. And sometimes you don't say nothing. You just hug her. Throwing the temper tantrum like a 13-year-old. They get mad when I say sometimes women act like 13-year-olds. They get mad, but they do. But that's not a bad thing. It's like, okay, if you're wise and you're truly trying to be a servant leader, she need to be served in that moment. Is that, baby, come here. Watch, I've done it. Hugged her, tore up.
Yeah.
As soon as I hugged her, all of it stopped.
Oof.
Because she didn't know that's what she needed in that moment.
Now,
she's trying to figure it out.
Now, this is a practice that I can say that I definitely participate in. But man, before I started doing that, it was so tough.
Terrible.
But it goes back to your point. What you need is on the other side of that door. You're going to have the courage to do it or no.
Or stay here. Either go or stay here
and run in a circle.
That's your choice.
What you going to do?
Hamster wheel.
I've been on the phone with this dude in the garage of my own house, running in circles.
Hamster wheel, bro. I tell people you hamster wheeling. If you're not going forward, you're hamster wheeling, boss.
True.
What do you say to the guy who may not be married but is in a dark place?
Get out of there. Get out of there by facing the fact that you put yourself there a lot of times. Now, not because of your circumstances, you mentally put yourself in that dark place, because I did. I accepted that trash that was spoken about me. I accepted that energy that was coming to me, and it kept weighing me down worse and worse. It became quicksand. You see what I'm saying? I accepted that. So don't accept that. The moment you change, think about it, bro. We don't realize how powerful our mind is. Like, if you study, watch the commercials when they talk about the depression and medicine. Look how the people rubbing on their body. Depression hurts you physically.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy part about what we don't pay attention to. Depression is something that you thought about. It started off as a bad thought. It started out as a bad feeling. You just maybe had a bad day and you never let it go. You like sewing it together. You just keep going. Think about it now. You stuck in this. You stuck in it. It's a cycle. It's just going. You're stuck in this circumference. That's all you're doing. And guess what? Something else happened to you. Something else happened to you. Now something else happened to you. Now you got a bunch of stuff you juggling that's going in a circle when you should have got out when it was right here. You just kept adding stuff to it, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's out of control, and you don't know how you get there, and then you take yourself out. Cause see, I told my mother this, and it scared her. Like you said, dark place. This all correlates. Bro, I attempted suicide several times. Several times. See that?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
See that scar?
Yeah.
This was my last time attempting suicide that night. I dug that knife into I went and found my mother's sharpest knife that you can find, because I ain't have a gun at that time. I drove out to Wildwood. Now, if you know what Highway 150 is, 150 will take you all the way into Wildwood, where the movies, where all those other stuff. There's a park over there. Know if y'all remember the little kid park, they got little small slides.
Yeah.
Like a little rock pit or whatever.
Yeah.
I pulled over, it was pitch black. I'd never forget that. I pulled over. And then that was my first time ever, in a physical encountering of God in that car. And man, I sat there and I dug that knife into my wrist, bro. I turned, that's when, show you how, God, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna show my age. Y'all remember the sidekick?
Oh yeah.
T-Bone sidekick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, never got one, but I had to have one.
Had
I know
one, man.
I know exactly what you're talking
Had
about.
one.
Yeah.
Turned it off. That's how long ago this was. Turned it off. So I had the sidekick. 2000. And man, I'm crying, dude. I got a brand new car. At the time I had a fiance, had a good paying job for fresh out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Life looked good. But I was I was so freaking miserable, bro. I couldn't talk to nobody. Because I had to keep this image up that I was okay, and I was not okay. And I was scared to say I was not okay because I was going to get laughed at and judged. So I drove all the way out there, bro. I was done. This it. Whatever happens after this, if this is afterlife, I guess I'll find out. Man, I dug that knife into my wrist, and all I heard is literally scared me beyond words. Don't do it. I'm in the car. What the fuck? Ain't nobody in here. Don't do it. Now my heart beating 1,000 miles per hour because I'm like, I must be high. And all I felt was some arms. And just do this for a minute. And bro, and the longer it held me, the harder I started crying. I was crying bitterly because I was tired of living. But then I was crying because I was overwhelmed at how much that love felt. And I was like, man, you gotta let me go. God, you gotta let me go. I can't take this. Nah, he held on. I stayed out there about 20 more minutes. And I'm like, man, I can't take this. And I'm talking about, I am crying, but it felt so peaceful. It was like it was a real release of tears. I'm like, it's okay for me to cry. I learned at that moment, it's okay for me to cry. I don't care what nobody says. I'm finna express how I feel. Bump that. I'm as much as a man as anybody else. But I'm finna express how I feel. If something touch my heart, snot bubbles. I'm cool with it. Judge your mama, not me. So I got to experience that, and I realized, man, life worth living for. But the longer I focus on my failures and not turn them into lessons, I'm going to not want to be here. I'm going to not want to live. I'm going to not want to have all that stuff because I'm not focusing right. Half glass empty. I'm a glass half empty, glass half full type situation. That's a real situation. That's real. How are you it's the same situation, but how are you viewing it? Can either give you hope or despair. So change your view. To answer your question, I said all that to change your view. All you got to do, your situation not going to change overnight, but your view can. Your understanding of who you are can.
You seem like you're putting a lot of emphasis and value on self, what we can control, and not trying to worry about things. That's one of the biggest things I'm picking up out of this. Yeah. What would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's funny you
I
spot
think there's
on.
value in that.
No, you're spot on because of the fact of think about how often we worry about stuff that we cannot control.
Come on.
Yeah.
How often we pray about stuff we just cannot control and keep taking it back. Versus how often we keep praying about stuff to God that we can stop doing tomorrow.
Yes, come on, man. Come on, man. Yes,
I can stop cussing you out, bro.
True.
Right now.
You in control of that.
I can control that. I just don't want to.
Right.
And I'm gonna be like, God, man. And we love to say that God ain't through with me yet. No, he not. No, he not. I don't think he started.
Right.
I don't even know if he
That's the
started.
point. You haven't let him start.
You gotta let him
You
in
haven't
now.
let him start. That's why he ain't done with you.
Something else you're in control of as well.
Right.
Right.
So
He ain't done with you because he ain't got started on you.
So you ain't let him in. And so, and
Yeah.
I have to be conscious. There are people that don't believe in that. Then the universe, whatever you believe, but a lot of things we control more than we realize. And LP was working on the summit, and he got me and our other homie Reggie. We was working on it, and what came to me, he was like, "I need you to do a presentation." I was working on him, and I was like, "I ain't got nothing to say." And all of a sudden, he just dropped on me, "Innocent God," huh? wait a minute. God is innocent of all this stuff we blaming him on. Lil Pookie then killed 17 people. And then finally get, according to them, just desserts on that. Now you saying, why God take him? God ain't take nobody. Every time I know, you know it. You probably read the book. You read the book as well. He gives a warning before he issues justice. Or whatever comes. He issues a warning every single time. Hey, don't go down that street. Don't hang around your homeboy today. Don't go over there today. Same homeboy get killed. Same day. Would have been with him.
Don't take your life.
Don't take your life. Don't do none of this stuff. Just don't even, don't.
Don't do it with the words. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Another instance. I'm probably about 12, 13. And we had one of the biggest drug dealers that lived in his dad lived the street behind us, but he liked my mom. And I was finna hit the block. Mom crying, trying to get the lights fixed. She got to take care of me and my sister too. Dad dipped. I'm like, I got to be a man now. And our parents got to stop doing, especially mother. Stop making your son the man of the house. That's a child. That is not his position. You should have chose better. That is not your son in a position to be your husband and take over the responsibilities as man of the house. Period. So that type of pressure should never be on a child, especially a male child. We got to stop doing that, first of all, because that makes us make choices that we have no business making. That forced me to go hit the block because McDonald's wasn't fast enough. They might turn the lights off tomorrow. I'm hitting my boy Tiger up, who's no longer with us. Tiger, hey man, trying to hit the block, cuz what we got going on? I'm joining the 60s. Let's go.
Yeah.
Now I'm flagging and I'm doing all this. I'm hitting the block. My uncle called me the day I was gonna get killed the next week. He gets killed the next week. My uncle called me the week before. Man, what you doing? What you talking about? Nigga, I know you with Tiger, bro. I know you with him. What is you doing? I said, man, he finna kill this dude, bro. He done. They knocking his homeboys out just like that, bro. He was next. And had I been in the car with him, I'd have been gone. They lit him up. And I'll never forget my uncle called me that Friday night. That Saturday morning it was a collect call. And he tells me this. So the next week, I'm sitting on the porch. And I had to tell Ty, hey man, I'm out. And when he showed me my route and I seen what I had to do to collect that money, how ruthless I had to be, the things that I had to probably they're indescribable how I felt. I'm like, bro, I can't do this. I ain't built for this. Hey, my bad, bro. I ain't built for this, cuz. I ain't built for that. Not doing that over some money? Nah, bro, you got it. You got it all day. Man, you weak. Yep. Weak and alive. You strong and dead, homie. So that forced me to jump into a situation, and I'm here like, don't go with him. Huh? What you mean? Don't go. I'm telling you, that's a warning. Yeah. Don't go with him. He's gone. He's dead, but he don't. His words specifically was, he's dead, but he don't know it yet. Bro, they took him out, bro. I would have been right with him.
Next week?
The next week, that next Saturday, bro, I remember him driving down the street, honked the horn, I threw the deuces up, drove back, black Cadillac follows him, parks. He pulled out, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Black Cadillac follows him. 2 hours later, heard his aunt next door screaming, they got him. They got him. All over the news. This was when CW 21, 68, 42, 6, 13, all of them had news stations. It was all over the news. It was that bad. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking like, my uncle wasn't lying. And that taught me then, listen. So don't listen to the right thing. Stop listening to what's feeding how you feeling right now. See what I'm saying? Like, you feel bad, but how long is that going to stay? Don't trust your feelings because they fickle. They'll change in a minute. I can give you $10,000 or accidentally put $10,000 in your account. The government turn around and take $8,000. Think about how you felt. You was elated when you got that $10K.
Oh, for sure.
But you're going to be pissed when you find that 8 of it gone.
That 10 is really $2K.
See how quick your feelings change.
Right.
That's why we can't trust them. That's how fickle they are. They'll change. I'm telling you, they'll change like the wind, bro.
Yeah. Chris, I appreciate you coming by,
Me
bro.
too.
Definitely.
What you doing next week?
Free, man. I'll be free, man.
Elevator pitch some notches on the man code. I want you to talk about that, what you're doing, what that's about.
Man code, man, actually was never intended. I came on there under my government name on TikTok. But I did a series on, because a lot of young men don't know what it takes to be a gentleman and how you're supposed to treat a lady when you take out. And it's simple, like just some of the basics of, she walks on the inside, you walk on the inside building side. You walk outside street, you know what I'm saying? It's easier to push her out the way than pull her out the way.
Right.
If something happens. So I did a series on that, and it was a live example. And I was basically heading home and on lunch break, and I seen that, and I whipped around. So I wanted to be respectful. I whipped around, and so I wouldn't see their face. So you just saw what they were doing. Like, hey, ladies, this is incorrect. Fellas, this is incorrect. She's supposed to be where he is. They need to invert that. But ladies, if you keep continuously get a guy like that, he ain't feeling you. And I tell you the game like that, you ain't it, sweetheart. Because I used to hear the term, if she on the outside, she a streetwalker. He working her. So I said, okay, man, it went viral. Went crazy on TikTok. I'm talking about 69,000 views. Wow. I'm talking about just like my following went from 289 to like 10,000 overnight, literally overnight. So I did another one, like, okay, as far as when you're out to dinner, gentlemen, you sit by where you can see the door. Don't ever sit with your back to the door. This is stuff I was taught. Don't ever sit with your back to the door and see that. So the series started, and I had one of my followers was like, you should do a complete man code series. And so I did one more video, and I was like, you know what, bump that. I am man code, so let me just become man code.
Nice.
Gotcha.
And so when I do talk, and then it just grew from there. I went up to 25K. That was humbling. That put me in another stratosphere with certain people, and people were listening to it, and I had to evolve in that too, because I was such a Captain Save-A-Hole when I first started. I'm just being real. Come on, man. Hey, we got to tell our truth. We got to tell our L's. I'm going to tell my L's more than my W's. And I was like, because everything I believe was outdated, so to speak, because the behavior was different. Yeah. Women were behaving different. Yeah. And, well, I don't like to call them women. I like to, a friend gave me a perfect term, it's anatomical female. So, because anatomically you're a female, because you got to go through a passage to become a woman. Same thing with a man.
Right.
Anatomical
he's
male.
not going to say that, but I hear you.
I mean, I'm going to say it, because I'll stand on it. Any backlash come, hey, blame me for it.
You know you're not with these trendy terms, but anyway, go ahead.
But it was through a conversation, so it was just like I began to see, okay, I have to adjust, and based off experiences, man code has grown into who he is today. I count all lessons, all L's, all W's, and kept growing. And another example, I was I went from one night from 5'2" to from like 5'4" to 6'2" overnight. I'm gonna shorten the story. So I went from 5'2" to 5'4" to 6'2" overnight, and I never forget that pain was acute. Like that was the worst pain ever. Like, and that's called growing pains. And I remember God talked to me about that. He brought me back one time when I went through that door, right? Especially after being in man code, it turned around and became a beautiful thing, because he said, remember how great the pain was, how acute the pain was. The growth gonna be just as powerful. So I've truly grown in man code. I've shifted. I no longer have those type of argument conversations. I come with a piece of, like, again, instead of pointing fingers and shooting middle fingers and causing arguments and, hey, trying to lob heads off, it's like, let me get to understand why you're talking like this. Why are you saying this about women? Why are you saying this about men? Why are you doing this? What was your trauma situation? Because obviously it's pretty deep. And when I hear people, LP is part of the debate forum, I say, you don't want me to have a debate forum, because I'm not going to go argue theology and semantics. I'm going to be like, okay, who was it that hurt you? Was it the pastor? Was it this deacon? Was it that first church lady? Was it this? Who was it? Because it's obviously somebody. Right. So that's what I continue to grow myself. Once I realized that, man, I'm still taking off in a different way now.
How can they access that?
Go to basically I'm on TikTok, the Real Man Code 101. I'm also on Instagram as well. I'm working on my YouTube. I'm gonna start recording my lives from TikTok, and I'm gonna upload them to YouTube so people can join in and go back and check it out. So I'm gonna keep going in. And I used to have a Clubhouse, which I think I'm gonna get back up, so y'all can come join the conversation. And I also have Man Code Radio that comes on Sunday nights on Station Head from 7:30 to 9, and then let's talk about it.
Nice.
Oh wow, I'm impressed.
Chris, I appreciate you coming by,
Yes.
brother.
Man,
Thank you, bro.
The pleasure was mine.
Straight up.
Pleasure was mine. Y'all actually let me babble on. I love it.
Of course. Hey, safe space, man.
Hey man, it's much needed, and I pray that I can pay it forward for somebody else with this, because this is amazing.
I think
I see the
you
stuff that y'all
helped.
put out.
I think you have. Whoever listens, I think you will have helped them greatly. So
100%.
thank you, sir.
Absolutely,
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me again.
Of course.
It's an honor. Pleasure's mine.
Listen, y'all, we appreciate y'all for checking out our content. Please like, share, subscribe. Also, you can find us on IG, Twitter at thatippingpoint, one word. I'm Caesar Walker. He's Ronnie Gatry. What? Oh, Twitter X. Yeah. Okay.
So petty. So petty.
I'm Caesar Walker. He's Petty Wop. He's black. And we're the Tipping Point Podcast. Thanks again for checking us out, y'all.